One of the secrets to success is having a product that people want. It's often overlooked by entrepreneurs.
I like to say you need to have, you either need to have an extremely innovative product to create a new habit, or your product just needs to insert itself into an already existing habit. Otherwise, you're swimming upstream.
Honest Ecommerce is a weekly podcast where we interview direct-to-consumer brand founders and leaders to find out what it takes to start, grow, and scale an online business today. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Honest Ecommerce. Today, I'm welcoming to the show the founder and CEO of Gardencup, Bradley Savage. Welcome to the show, Brad.
How you doing, Chase?
I'm doing fantastic. I was, before this, trying to think where we met, and I believe it was Sub Summit 2 years ago was when we first met.
I think you're right, at the pool party.
Yes, Brad had a fantastic pool party. I met a bunch of awesome people there. A few of them I have actually had on the podcast. Brad and I finally got around to getting him on the podcast. So excited to have you here. For those listeners that aren't aware of Gardencup, could you quickly let them know, what's the product you're bringing to market? What are you guys selling over there?
Yeah, for sure. So Gardencup, we like to call it salad as a service. It's the freshest SaaS company out there. We ship premium, ready-to-eat salads nationwide, direct to homes and offices.
That's amazing. Now, take me back in time. Where did this idea percolate where you're like, I need to send salads to people?
Yep. It of course started with the desire to send salads to myself that I didn't have to make personally. So I first started doing my own DIY salad prep all the way back in college, about 10 years before I even started the business. I actually bought the gardencup.com domain, started working on the business plan, thinking through how to do this while I was kind of living out of a dorm at A&M. Running around, I was just eating Hot Pockets 24/7. I loved having salads, but it would take me 4 hours and $150 at the grocery store just to get, 5 of the same exact salad. And I was using old Starbucks cups, so it was really handy when I would do it. It's kind of a grab and go handheld, healthy meal, but it was so impractical to do all that prep all the time. So I would end up doing it very, very rarely. And so I ended up going into commercial real estate, thinking I was going to save up a little bit of money for a year or two and then kind of start this dream project. I got sucked into real estate for 9 years and started and sold a small business there. And after that, kind of decided to give this thing a shot full time. So obviously, a lot of transferable knowledge between commercial real estate and salad manufacturing and e-commerce.
I know you're joking, but I'm sure there's a few things. Like, what would you say were some of those learnings that are, it doesn't matter, just cutting your teeth in learning and business?
Zero transferable knowledge. Let's be real clear. Let's be honest about the e-commerce journey here. I knew zero about anything that Gardencup requires. So the first year and a half, honestly, was my own education. The majority of the money I put in went to my own education, AKA got incinerated. So, but we figured it out. We started out in a ghost kitchen. I found a kind of a culinary, food production guy, and we shipped salads out of a ghost kitchen. We got to the point where we're in this 500 square foot ghost kitchen shipping 20 pallets a day, next door to like Uber Eats restaurant tenants. We turned this little ghost kitchen into like an industrial operation. So that's when we kind of had to hit the brakes a little bit. We got to a $20 million run rate in our first year, 13 months to be exact. And we realized like we are over our skis right now on this production facility, and it's really hard to come by food grade processing space. So we're actually still we're out of the ghost kitchen. Luckily, we're in a little bit bigger kitchen space, but we're not in the ideal food production facility. So we kind of had to hit pause on the growth trajectory a little bit while we figured out some of these, what I call puberty problems in the startup phase. We're kind of, we're not an infant anymore, but we're not quite fully grown up yet. So we're in this kind of awkward tweener phase that we're trying. We've identified roughly 5 major transitions we have to get through to get on the other side of that. We've already kind of knocked out 2 of them, one of which was moving to a custom tech stack for really precise subscription processing and subscription management of a custom bundle. The other was moving from just nationwide, express shipping, super expensive, to kind of a managed logistics network of our own. So much more efficient, cost-effective shipping now, significantly better on-time delivery rates. The three remaining problems are a proper production facility, getting the freshness extending technology that we've been working on fully implemented and installed, and then unlocking culinary menu rotation. So most other meal subscriptions will rotate their menu every week or every month. We add a new cup every month or two at best. So one of the bigger reasons for churn in our business is menu fatigue. So that's one of the big opportunities still kind of waiting for us.
You shared so much there. So I'm just going to go back to the beginning. All right. How does somebody go from selling one cup to selling 2 million cups? That's a whole, you kind of just jumped to the end there. So how did you sell the first couple to people that weren't friends and family? Like, what was the go-to-market strategy?
Oh man. So we kind of tinkered with, I honestly, early on, I didn't know anything about e-commerce. I was literally Googling the difference between, BigCommerce and Wix and Shopify. I literally didn't know which one was better, what was what. I made the wrong decision at first. I went with a non-Shopify platform for a year, while I was, kind of trying to figure out how to get custom bundling, custom dynamically priced bundles on subscription, which at the time was not a native, Shopify recharge, function. So ended up wasting a bunch of money and time going down the rabbit trail trying to build a custom bundled, meal subscription website. And all these other, the HelloFreshes and Daily Harvest of the world, their websites were around long before any of the fancy native, subscription functionality came out. Really just in the last 2 years. So they're like multi-million-dollar websites. They cost, $1 million plus a year just to maintain. I was trying to do this for, the cost of monthly usage fees. So, it was a learning experience. We sold on BigCommerce for a little while, just, essentially like one-time orders. We couldn't do custom subscriptions. So you could kind of build your cart. We did a minimum, you had to buy at least 6 cups. And that was all we could do. So we had, boxes that were half full and all sorts of stuff. It was not ideal. We also sold in some airport convenience stores for a while, and those sales were outstanding. But we decided to focus 100% on D2C starting out. That was kind of the original goal, was shipping these garden cups directly to homes and offices and kind of putting clean eating on autopilot for the customer. So yeah, we worked on an escape path from this very restricted functionality in terms of subscription management website that was on BigCommerce at the time. Finally got migrated over to Shopify. In the process, realized that we'd spent all this money trying to customize BigCommerce just to have custom dynamically priced bundles released as a native feature, after about a year of banging our head against the wall trying to figure that out. So now Shopify was the answer. We finally migrated to Shopify. We launched our subscription only platform in March of 2023. Started with zero subscribers, 0 ARR. We grew all the way up to 20 million ARR within 13 months. And then all the kind of the operations started breaking. So that, my attention goes from e-commerce to operations, back to e-commerce, and then over to shipping and logistics. And so it's really like 2 or 3 businesses in one, trying to manage all of it ourselves. Anyway, yeah, shipping our very first salad, to non-friends and family. We started out, I've got pictures of me in the kitchen, taping boxes and chopping onions and trying to figure out how to, build a kind of a fulfillment team and production team was a long and storied process. So it was fun, man. We finally got to the point where we had, we got up to like 50 plus people in the operation, and we're to this day about that size. And, we went from shipping our very first day shipping salads. We had 8 boxes. And I was so proud to, deliver all 8 boxes in the back of my Model Y over to the UPS terminal. Now we've got, full 53 footers pulling up 4 days a week, to pick up, 20 plus pallets each time. So, it's been a journey to say the least.
Absolutely. And finding those customers, what was your main kind of marketing channel?
So we got a lot of early love from 100% Instagram. Social media was huge. We haven't really done much on TikTok yet, but before we launched on Shopify, we didn't do any paid ads, no paid advertising anywhere, and we just got a lot of organic love from influencers, who I think were like, hey, wow, there's been, Pinterest salad jars online for 15, 20 years. Now you can actually buy these and get them shipped straight to your door. So, very Instagrammable product. It's like a, vertically layered and oriented meal product. Most other meals, are in a kind of boring horizontal tray, whereas ours are, very aesthetically pleasing. You can see all the layered ingredients right through the cup, very transparent. So a lot of influencers, micro all the way up to macro were, coming across us on other people's stories and stuff. And they'd say, oh, that's novel. They ordered up themselves. We didn't even reach out to most of them early on, and they would post us. So that's kind of how we got to, I wouldn't say we went viral on Instagram, but, we definitely got some early traction there. Very slow and steady early traction.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's, one of the secrets to success is having a product that people want. Like it's often overlooked by entrepreneurs.
I like to say you need to have, you either need to have an extremely innovative product to create a new habit, or your product just needs to insert itself into an already existing habit. Otherwise, you're swimming upstream.
Hey, everybody, just a quick reminder. Please like this video and subscribe if you haven't. We're releasing interviews like this every week, so don't miss out. Now back to the interview. When you made that move to Shopify, do you remember what number made you nervous when you started to really get into performance marketing?
In terms of ad spend?
Yeah.
I from the very beginning, I didn't really care what the gross, dollar spend was. All I cared about was CAC. So, if we were, profitable, by the second order as a subscription only brand on CAC, I was like, man, spend as much as you possibly can. So, we've, spent a long time. I went through, a couple different agencies, and I think that each one was the right fit for us at that time. And we would eventually kind of scale out of one and say, hey, I think we need to try something else and get some more firepower here and try another. So it's been pretty exhausting, honestly, trying to learn how to do all the performance marketing stuff, what content angles are working and what audiences are converting. But never really cared about, at this point, I care about spending as much as I possibly can at our CAC limit. So it's all about, LTV to CAC.
What you said there, I kind of want to just reiterate is you found the right partners, but at the right time, which I think a lot of people don't realize that there are on the service provider side of things, be it, paid media or whatever agency that you're going to partner with, there are better ones for the size of your business too. And some people overspend and underspend at times picking the wrong partners.
Yeah, I think early on, we had a partner who did their best. Honestly, I think we got what we paid for, but the creative quality was okay. It was kind of amateur, but it worked at the time. And so I think when you're early on and you haven't saturated a channel yet, or really come anywhere close to saturating it, our CAC was $10 our first month, and it went to 20, and then to 25, and now we're at 55, 60. And, I think, some of the big national meal subscriptions are, 160. But they've figured out that their LTV can handle it. But yeah, some of these agents, every agency kind of has a different approach, a different, skill set and forte. And I think, we really tried to get folks on a performance basis rather than flat monthly fees. So, I was, always try to keep agency partners fully aligned and in the boat with me as much as possible, so that there's mutual incentive to spend efficiently and create good content and good, test all the different messaging hooks and all that. So, I think once we realized, folks were, out of tricks up their sleeve, we said, okay, I think we need to, level up a little bit and just, go find a partner who might have something else that can move the needle. So, Yeah, it's always, spend it as much as you can at your CAC limit is kind of always the goal. At least has been in our case so far.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you invested in the business at the beginning, but I'm just curious for other listeners out there, if they've got, a product that is moving on one of these channels, paid media is working for them. Like, how do you unlock that additional, like, people just don't have extra hundreds of thousands of dollars laying around to like turn that engine on. I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. You're investing in paid traffic, email, influencers, you're doing everything, but your store's still not converting like it should. That's the hidden cost nobody's talking about. If you don't know why people aren't buying, you're constantly losing money. Whenever conversion rate optimization comes up with brands, the first thing I ask them at the agency is what they are using for analytics and behavior tracking. Heatmap.com is my go-to recommendation because it's the only platform I've seen that connects user behavior directly to sales. That kind of visibility is critical for e-commerce brands trying to grow. I tell every brand that we work with to install Heatmap. It shows you what's working and what isn't using real behavior data tied directly to revenue. You get live heat maps, session recordings, funnels, and attribution down to specific product pages. This isn't just another analytics dashboard, it's a revenue optimizer. And right now, Honest Ecommerce listeners get the hookup. They get a 14-day free trial. They get access to their ultimate 150-point CRO checklist. And as a bonus, you'll get a free setup by us over at Electric Eye when you ask for us to do so. So stop wasting another dollar guessing. Visit heatmap.com/honest. That's heatmap.com/honest and start seeing what your customers see, because clarity truly equals revenue. Coming up soon, mark your calendars. Grow New York is September 25th and 26th in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. 2 days, 800 e-commerce leaders. Every session is focused on the biggest shift in our industry right now, AI. If you're a retail brand, your ticket is completely free. But spots are going fast. Go to joingrow.com right now to claim yours before they're gone. That's joingrow.com. joingrow.com.
What benefited our business and allowed us to kind of bootstrap this thing was that we have a negative cash conversion cycle. So we actually we get paid from our customers before we buy the vast majority of our inventory because it's fresh food. So one of the very few silver linings of this highly complex and zero margin for error business with fresh salads is that we do have this negative cash conversion cycle. So we can collect revenue before we pay most of our bills to vendors. A lot of other like hard goods CPG brands, you've got to pre-purchase inventory and then sell through it. So we were able to use that 2 or 3 week positive working capital buffer to go out and acquire customers, and then we pay our bills, and then we have more money to spend on additional acquisitions the next month. So the more you ratchet up that CAC relative to LTV, the more careful you have to be with how much you kind of allow yourself to spend, because we didn't really know what our LTV was until really just recently. We got our very first 24-month cohort, which I think is kind of a good estimate of what your true LTV really is. A year is a little bit, certainly 6 months is too short. 5 years might not be reflective of new cohorts acquired, but good 24 months, you really kind of understand what your customer, how long your customer is willing to stay with you and how many repeat orders they're going to place. So at this point, we have a pretty clear understanding of what we can spend to acquire a customer and make money on that customer. So
absolutely. And I think that's it's a mindset that a lot of entrepreneurs don't have because one of the things that initially attracted me to e-commerce is it's kind of like, yeah, there's strategy, this channel, that, but it's just math.
Yeah, it's true. It's very straightforward. Yeah. Performance marketing, direct response marketing I really don't know how I'd ever do justify spend on a billboard. Even CTV is getting a lot more efficient than it used to, much more transparency. But Facebook really pioneered this one for one kind of, you put money in, pretty darn well what you're getting out. So I think there's really no other way to do it for a startup coming out of the gate, especially for an e-commerce brand. Going out and buying billboards and running linear TV, man, you don't have any idea what's converting, what's working. So the feedback loop that it enables and unlocks is crucial. So, Facebook will tell you exactly which ads are working, which ones aren't, and what kind of audiences are converting. So it's very helpful in staying very, very surgical with your marketing investment.
Absolutely. Brad, is there anything I didn't ask you about today that you think would resonate with our audience?
Man, no, I think if I could just leave everybody with some encouragement, as hard as things are, as hard as the grind is, growing the business and working on getting a new product to market, I think always remember there's always a harder business out there. I like to think that ours is one of the hardest, being fresh food with zero margin for error, namely lettuce. Imagine shipping a box of fresh lettuce from Dallas to Phoenix in July. It's not easy in a UPS trailer. So, I think things can always get harder, but there's in my experience, the longer you work at something and the less you give up, the more likely your odds are to have a breakthrough. All you got to do is last long enough to get to that next breakthrough. So I think Steve Jobs said that half of success in entrepreneurship is attributed to just not quitting. So if you can just outlast the trials and tribulations, you'll finally get to, so long as you're selling a product that works. I think that's crucial. So find a product that, is solving a problem or 10x better than the last thing, or just inject your product into an existing habit. If people are already, so like coffee, for example, there's a never ending market, I think, for coffee. Literally everybody drinks coffee multiple times a day. And so that's why you've got hundreds and hundreds of coffee brands, thousands that are doing just fine because there's a market for it. So finding a product that fits very well into a pre-existing market or solving a huge problem, I think are two of the biggest ingredients to product market fit. And then just don't give up. I think there's other founders around there who would love to come around side other folks and come alongside you in terms of growth marketing operators all the way up to founders. I think there's a difficult, it's a very difficult world to navigate alone. So make sure that you're doing it with other folks. That's probably my biggest encouragement. I was a solo founder for the first 3 years. I brought in an operating partner about a year ago who's a veteran in the fresh prepared food space. And it's been super helpful to have someone else in the trenches with me. So if you don't have a co-founder, go find one. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think that the agency would still be here if I didn't have a co-founder. And I, probably one of the most serendipitous and luckiest things was that we do complement each other. They're not the same skill sets, but when we first got this thing going, had no clue about any of this, right? Most businesses out there, you kind of just get started. Next thing you know, you're still doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, having a co-founder is great.
I love that. Everything is figure outable, right?
Yeah.
It's a matter of resilience and tenacity
and creativity.
Yeah, for sure. Creativity. Yeah, I would say resilience, drive, creativity trump intelligence every time. So raw intelligence is great for problem solving, but if you don't have the drive and the willingness and the creativity to go out there and do it, those are kind of the foundational ingredients. So
yeah, what's that? There's like some saying out there where like, if you want to find a new way to do a hard job, give it to the laziest person. It's like, they'll like just find an easier way to do it.
That is so true. That's literally the reason why Gardencup was founded, is because I was too lazy to prep my own salads. So
I love it, Brad. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing all those amazing insights.
Thanks, Chase. Talk to you later.